Hello everybody, it's Steph Davis here from flipthiswholesaler.net. I'm here today with a brand new Q&A video for you guys. It's been a while, I know. Was doing some traveling over the summer, but now I am back in action and I have a new video for you guys today. My question this time around comes from Eric in Jacksonville, Florida, and Eric writes, "Hi Steph, I'm just getting started as a wholesaler in Jacksonville, and after trying unsuccessfully for several months to get a deal off of the MLS, I've decided to try my hand at direct mail. I recently purchased a list of all absentee owners with the intent of sending a letter to each person and letting them know I am interested in buying properties. The only problem is that it would cost me way too much in postage to send a letter to every single person. Do you have any suggestions on how I can cut my costs but still get started with a direct mail campaign? Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you, Eric." All right, Eric, so you have this giant list of absentee owners. I'm not sure if you pulled absentee owners just in your county or maybe several counties or maybe your whole state. I'm not sure. And by the way, for those who are watching this video and don't know what absentee owner means, it basically means that you own a property but you live elsewhere. So this could be, an out of area landlord or someone who has maybe a vacation rental or something like that. But basically, they have the property and they are not living in it. So a couple ideas for you here. I'm not sure where you are getting your list from, but if it's somewhere like ListSource or somewhere online where you can just go and basically buy leads, you have the option or the ability to narrow that list. There are a whole bunch of different ways that you can narrow the list, but my suggestion first off would be to, if you're just pulling all absentee owners and thinking of mailing to all of them and your intent is to wholesale, you automatically, right off the bat, you want to get rid of those absentee owners where the property has little to no equity. Okay, as a wholesaler, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to wholesale a property if there's no equity in it. So I would start by narrowing the list by getting rid of those folks who do not have any equity. You can even choose to mail to just properties that are free and clear. But that is going to cut down on a lot of those leads. You'd basically be, if your intent is to wholesale and you are sending letters to people who, absentee owners who own a property but there's no equity in it, you're basically throwing your money, it's like just setting your money on fire because you're not going to be able to do anything with those leads from a wholesaler's perspective. That is one idea. The second would be, you can always send out postcards. Postcards are going to be cheaper to mail than an actual live letter with a stamp on it. So that's another idea. Also, you might want to look at different types of lists, perhaps lists that are smaller but a lot more targeted, such as probates. I just did actually an interview with my friend Christina Kraus that is on it's on my blog, actually the post before this video. If you're on YouTube watching this, if you go to my my blog flipthiswholesaler.net, on the first page there is an interview that I did with my friend Christina Kraus where she talks about getting probate leads and mailing to that list. Now that is going to be a lot smaller of a list, but typically folks who inherit properties, a lot of times they're ready to just dump the property, or not dump it, but to get rid of it, and a lot of times are willing to sell at a discount. So that is one idea. Also, a list that I have had a lot of luck with in the past, and some students of mine have as well, is mailing to evictions, landlords who are filing evictions and also that live out of state. Okay, in a lot of areas. Now you might be able to get this information online, or you might have to go down to whatever office handles the evictions in your county and pull up that information. But what you can do then is, once you see the properties where there are evictions being filed, you can kind of cross-reference that, find out who the owner is, and a lot of times you can see, just looking online, see if they live out of state. Those can be some fantastic leads. Why? Because you've got, someone living out of state, renting out a property. If they have to evict someone, that costs money. It costs money to clean the property back up and then, to find a new tenant. So those can be great leads. Not a lot of people mail to that list. you know, it might be a little bit more of a pain in the butt to get that list, but that's a good thing. The way that I look at it, the harder the list is to get, the less competition you're going to have. So the same thing goes with probates. A lot of people will say, well, you know, I can't just go online and get probate leads. I actually have to go down to the office downtown and look through all these files. Well, that might be a pain in the butt, but the more difficult the leads or the list is to get, the better off you are because the less competition you're going to have. So those are two different lead sources that, you know, you're going to have a lot less actual leads than, say, if you went on list source and just pulled a list of absentee owners like you've done. You're going to have a lot less leads, but the leads are going to be much more qualified. And the chances of them being motivated is going to be in most cases greater. So, and then one last option, which a lot of people overlook this, but it can be very, very effective, is driving for dollars. Just basically getting out there in your farm area, driving up and down the streets, and if you see distressed properties, properties that look vacant, boarded up properties, you know, any type of property that looks like it has been neglected, you know, jot those down, go home, get on your county website and kind of do some research to find out some information about those properties. So, you know, again, that's going to be a lot smaller of a list, but it's going to be a lot more targeted than, say, you know, just going onto ListSource and just, you know, buying a bunch of leads. So those are my suggestions for you. Hopefully you will find them helpful. If anyone watching this has anything else that they would like to add, feel free to leave a comment below in the comment section. If you're watching this on YouTube, I do have comments disabled because it just gets too confusing to go back and forth from my blog to YouTube to answer questions. So if you would like to comment, you can leave, go to my blog, flipthiswholesaler.net, and feel free to leave a comment. That's all for today. You guys have a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.